What's going on, guys? Bart here with Totally Television, and today we're going to be picking up a comic book series that I've been wanting to get into with you guys. Um, as you know, here we're big Nightcrawler fans, or at least I am. I should say I don't want to project my fandom onto you guys, but we went over that 2004 series that he had. Then we went through the Way of X limited series that they had. And for this, we're going to be getting into Legion of X, which currently wrapped up and has become, for the time being, Nightcrawlers, which will last for 3 issues during the Sins of Sinister story. Then I believe it's going to turn into Children of the X, but I'm not too sure about that yet. Part of the progression of this title. But before we get into all that, I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. Why don't you teleport yourself to the like button, you smash that, and psychically read yourself to know that you will subscribe to Tully Television if you have yet to do that. But let's get into it. Legion of X, number 1. This is one of the variants that I got. This was one of the 1 in 25 or something like that variant. Written by Cy Spurrier. Artist by Jan Bazaldu. Color artist Federico Blee. And the cover artist for this particular cover is Bob Quinn. Now, what basically this series sets up is Nightcrawler and David Haller are going to set up a type of police force, so to speak, or investigation team in which they go around and kind of just really police themselves, with the X-Men going worldwide, with the Quiet Council bickering amongst themselves about how to approach certain things. David Haller and Nightcrawler are taking action for those citizens of Krokao, and I'd have to say this has been pretty decent so far. We see here with Legion and Blindfold, what he's doing is creating a dimension in his mind that you can access through one of the gateways that they planted around the world, and even one on Mars, Akroa. What he's trying to do in this altered dimension is create a space for people to come and basically use it for whatever they needed to. Think about the Room of Requirement in the Harry Potter movies. The room will show up and have what you're looking for when you least expect or least likely to look for it. In this altered dimension, in David's mind, people will go there. And if they want to train with their powers, they can. If they want to just hang out with their friends and do stuff there, they can. It's basically a place to de-stress for the mutant population. Let's see here. I want to show some stuff. We see Kurt here going to Akroa to help Storm, who is the leader of the group of people there. And basically, weaponless, if I remember correctly, weaponless Zen is going to try to go back to Krokao with Nightcrawler to see how they're going to go about helping the people of Akroa as well, and the people there feel like if sending her with Nightcrawler and seeing how they proceed to handle things and how they're handling stuff they need to have happen on Mars as well, if they're fully capable of doing that. We also see Juggernaut here, who's part of the team, one of the Legionnaires, so to speak, and mutant by the name of Forget-Me-Not. Now, Forget-Me-Not has such a sad arc in the story. I really feel super bad for him in this series. His powers, unfortunately, no matter how many times you talk to him and do things with him and all these things, once he leaves your sight, that's it. You forget about him. You could have known him literally for 20 years, and each time you meet him, it's as if you're meeting him for the first time. So instead of the character having something like Memento, where you can't make any new memories, it's the people around him that can't remember him from any other time. And it must be a pretty lonely and sad existence. But we do also see him here at one point and during the series kind of fall in love with the character Lost. I also wanted to point this out. These were the 3 rules that they basically were trying to keep going. Make more mutants, murder no man, respect the land, and the spark. It's basically rules that feel like they should abide by. Nightcrawler has had a unique path during this story, lead up to this story, a man of faith, to see things like resurrection, to see things that were only ideas in his mind, and trying to live by the rules of these religious texts, to now being one that's making the rules. Kurt has had a crisis of faith, so to speak, even throughout this series, on what's really the truth. What has he really known to be reality of all the mysteries that were meant to be unsolved are now solved? Is there truly a God that's doing all these things, planning all these things out, or are we just here alone, left to our own devices? And I'm sure that's Kurt's mindset at the time being. We also see, here's the character Lost. They're here to try to talk to this character Spike, because he had lost consciousness and had done some stuff to his friends unintentionally. This here is on Akroa, and the creature here is trying to tell, the mutant here is trying to tell Nightcrawler how ever since they came and helped them, they have all these gods trying to come and build power through having the people of Krokao pray to them and everything. And they're trying to fight. That's why basically Weaponless Zen is forced to go with Nightcrawler to figure out how to solve some of these problems for both Krokao and Akroa. Also, we find out that the last big thing that happens in this issue is that Nimrod has killed Magnus, the leader of the Techno-Arnic Empire. Basically, that's the father of the character Warlock, who has been a New Mutant, has appeared in multiple X-Men stories, best friends with Doug Ramsey. His father was killed by Nimrod. And the weird thing about that is that David says is that Nimrod had did this in the dreamscape / astral plane, which is the first time that's ever happened for an AI to go into one of these realms, because it's supposed to be like a subconscious thing, something that machines can't necessarily access, but he was able to access this, and which was very concerning in killing Magnus in the process. Xavier gets mad that he left Mars, because basically at the end of the Way of X story is that he decided to stay on Mars to create this altar place in his mind, but being that he found out what happened to Magnus through Nimrod, he decided to come back to Krokao to Warlock in person, and he basically told his father, wouldn't you want to know in person that your father was lost to you forever? And that hits Xavier a little bit much, because he has massive trust issues with David, and David's not really giving him any reason to mistrust him currently, but Xavier's too scared that he's going to have a relapse or something and destroy Krokao and the dream that they're trying to build. And I have to say that Charles Xavier still remains to be a really crappy father to David, even all the way up until the end of this series. And he barely redeems himself, in my opinion, but I've really, over the years, have lost a lot of respect for Charles Xavier, not only for what he's done to his son, but to many, many other mutants that had entrusted him. But basically, yeah, he came to Krokao to tell to tell Warlock about Nimrod Minecrafting his father, and basically we see here as we wrap up our story here that the Legionnaires all come back to the altar to exchange notes and explain how their days went, how the cases went, and everything like that. And as David here is chilling out with his little girlfriend and kind of pleased with himself here, I think I might have showed you that, we get the first appearance of a new comic book character by the name of Mother Righteousness. Now, for anyone here who has been caught up with this series and you know the real identity of Mother Righteousness here, I would ask you to not reveal that quite yet until we get a little bit more into the Sins of Sinister story. But it's not exactly a secret anymore on who Mother Righteousness is and her connection to other characters in the Marvel Universe. But that's the beginning of Legion X. There's 10 issues altogether. And once we get through that, we can get into maybe the Sins of Sinister Nightcrawler's story that they did. And by then, we probably will be caught up with where Nightcrawler and David Haller are at in their stories. And yeah, Legion of X. I like Dr. Nemesis a lot. He's a pretty cool character. Pixie, Juggernaut, Forget-Me-Not, Lost, I think, is a pretty decent character too. Fabian Cortez shows up here and there in the series. They try to do some things with him. But yeah, check it out if you like some of these characters. And I personally liked the series. I thought it was pretty entertaining. They wrapped up a lot of the threads throughout the 10 months, and then to see where the Sins of Sinister story goes. That's pretty wild too, but only time will allow us to get there. We must be patient. But I thank you all again for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing. You let me know if you like this series. What are other X-Men series that you are currently collecting, if at all? But until next time, peace, Snookums.